Hey everyone, welcome back to AstroBlock 2, where today we are going to go check out some new planets. So sit back, enjoy the video, and let's see what we can't get done. Alright, excuse me while I get a little bit situated here. Just getting some stuff taken care of. So in between episodes, I didn't do a whole lot. I did go out and collected a few ores. I still have to process a lot of those ores, as you can see here. But yeah, we hit a couple asteroids. There was also another update, so we have to go out and do even more exploration, because if we come and look at the quest here, as you can see, it looks like they started distributing the schematics throughout some more of the structures here. So we've already used these schematics. These we had extras of, but like the booster schematic and the rocket vein schematic, we only found one of those, because I believe those two we actually had to trade for. So we're gonna have to go out and probably find them again, because I think they got rid of the mad scientist, so you can no longer trade for these. But to kind of balance that out, what they did is they made the schematics more available in other structures. So like we may not have to find as many space labs, because we only need to find the rocket vein schematic in it. But that being said, since they did update the other structures, I believe they changed some of the way that they look and everything like that. And they did add some new mobs. We have to go out and find them so that we can take them out. They did add what they're calling a military spaceship, which I'm not sure why this is checked off, probably because there's no task required with it, but obviously we haven't found a military spaceship. So we're gonna have to travel quite a long distance to try to find that guy, but hopefully, you know, we'll get there eventually. But today the main focus is going to be on getting to our next planet. It looks like we only have 2 more rockets to make. I believe with the new galactic craft, the rockets only go up to tier 6. As previously, I believe it was tier, what was it, 10, and then it was the tier 10 electric rocket. But now it seems like it's going to be stopping at 6. So once we get to the tier 6 rocket, we won't actually have to craft another one, which will be nice, because that will mean, you know, pretty much once we craft the tier 6, we can do all the final exploration that we need to. But today's goal is to get to the tier 5 rocket. Now, I did go ahead and collect at least all the components that we're going to need to make the pieces of the rocket itself. So, you know, we should probably, you know, get started on this. Let's see. So, durable nose cone. If I'm trying to see if I remember. Yeah, we don't have everything that we need for that guy right now. These guys we do have. Obviously, we're going to need the tier 5 heavy duty plates, and I really wish we could just shift click items into here, because it would make things so much easier. I did run out of advanced wafers, so I had to make more of those, and then I did stock up on the spin thrusters and some of these small fuel canisters here, because yeah, those guys take pretty much the most time to make. Now I can't remember, is this... No, these guys don't go here. It is these guys. So that'll complete, and then we just need to make one more, because every rocket is going to require 2 of these what are these, rocket bodies? Yeah, words and stuff and words. I'm going to be doing great with that today. Toss you in, and 2 more of you. We should be able to take you out, and 2 more of the booster rockets. And what was the last thing? Oh yeah, the advanced wafer. So now we have our 2 rocket bodies, which means we have room for the remaining of the items that we're going to need here. So now we can actually make the nose cone. I know it's got a chair. I know it's got this future glass. I know it's got 2 of these guys. Where is our lander? I know we have 2 of you, and you go here, I think. And what am I missing? I feel like I'm still missing something. Am I missing the... Yeah, I am missing the oxygen fence. Okay. All right, let's try this again now that we have everything. Wow, I was missing the oxygen vents and the display screen, but we already have plenty of these guys. You pick these up in pretty much every space station that you go to, so you're not going to really have to worry about making them as long as you do things correctly. We already have the bucket, the body. This guy, we're going to need thrusters for, or these heavy boosters before we can make the thruster. And we're going to need a total of, I believe, 6 of you. So let me see. This, I believe, is the recipe. Yep. So we have 1 heavy booster. So we need to get a total of 6 of those guys. All right. So we have 6 of the heavy boosters. So now we can move on to the durable rocket engine. And we're going to need 4 of the boosters just for this guy right here. And then let's just hover over everything. Make sure we clear all that. Then we're going to need a couple of these fuel pipes. I know that. I know we're going to need 2 of these guys. And what was the last thing that we needed? Was it? No, it wasn't another one of those. I feel like I'm missing one thing here. What was it? It's a heavy rocket engine. Ooh, so we're going to need 1 more of these heavy rocket engines. And we have our durable rocket engine. So that's those parts right there. And I think the last thing we need is the vents or the fins. Let's see. Yeah. Or I'm sorry, the durable rocket vanes. I'll get the name right one of these days, and we're going to need 2 of these to complete our tier 5 rocket. So now that we have all that, we can come over to our rocket assembly machine over here. Thankfully, this never seems to needs to be able to be this never needs to get upgraded. But you know, I have mixed feelings about the way that they're doing rockets right now. Part of me likes it, and part of me thinks that it kind of takes some of the joy of going to the other planets and doing the dungeons and stuff out of it. Because previously, you'd have to build a rocket, go to that planet, you know, do multiple dungeons trying to find the schematic for the next tier rocket, collect some resources, and then come back and build it. By limiting the amount of rockets that we need, and the fact that we get the schematics before we ever go out there, and you only need really 1 schematic, everything else is just upgrading the tier of the heavy plates. It feels like there's less reason to go to the planets than there used to be. But you know, everybody has their own different play style, so you know, I can't really knock it, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are just gonna absolutely love it. But we have our rocket, and we have to make sure that we don't don't hold it like that. Let's go set this guy down and see what it looks like. So even in Quake Pro mode, this thing you can barely see me under this thing. But I do like how it says Proton on the side of it. Good old Russian writing. And we'll come back down to normal FOV and go into our normal field of view and toss you on there. So now all we have to do, wow, it kind of glitches out when you look at it. It's like it's a little bit too big. No rocket? Rocket. No rocket? No rocket. Like what? Like David Copperfield here making rockets disappear. All right, as soon as I drop back down to Earth, we can start fueling this bad boy up. And oh, you've already got fuel in it, so we'll just turn you on and start on the process of that. Hopefully we won't need any more. I really should just raise this guy up once. I don't have to worry about dropping down into it. And I don't know why I came down here to toss this stuff back, but all right, so let's make sure that we have everything. We have our dungeon compass, the tier 4 rocket. We can actually toss into the deconstructor to try to get some of the parts back, because it is getting more and more and more expensive to make these plates. Like, I've been stocking up, so I think we should have enough to get up to the tier 6, but you got to figure it. You need to make, you know, the tier 1, then the tier 2, then the tier 3, the 4, the 5, you know, and then we can upgrade to the 6. So it ends up taking quite a bit. So if we can save ourselves, oh, this actually gave us some of the parts back. That's kind of weird. So what happens if we run this through again? We'll break it down into its individual components. I remember I made mention earlier in an earlier episode that I wasn't sure how I felt about the fact that it just kind of gave you some plates. Oh, okay, so these don't break down any further, it doesn't look like. They just break down into the individual parts, which doesn't really do us any good. So previously, when you broke the rocket down, you'd get like half a stack, let's say, of the whatever that tier rocket is, those plates. and you could use those to toss into your, upgrade into your next rocket. So now we just have pretty much useless rocket parts. But so yeah, I'll come out. I'm not a big fan of that part. I wish they would have either kept it or made it so the individual parts could have broke down to, a percentage of the parts that went into it. Not all of it, because that would be kind of cheating. But, let's say it takes, I think on average it takes a little bit more than a stack of heavy plates to make a single rocket. So getting back like 38 plates or something like that, like a little bit over 50%, a little bit under 50%, I think is a relatively good trade-off there. All right, so the other thing I want to check out before we go is our thermal padding here. We have, what, tier 3? What is it going to take for us to get up to tier 4? So it's going to take dolomite. What are we wearing? Did we already upgrade to tier 4? We did upgrade to tier 4. All right, so we are at the top tier of the thermal padding, so I don't have to worry about that. So belay my last on that. How are we doing on ammunition? We could use another stack of ammunition, because if we do find a dungeon, it's going to... Yeah, we're going to burn through the stuff pretty quickly here. One of these days, I should just go out and buy one of those matter overdrive rifles, because I think they have a little bit... Some of them have a little bit more power. And as you can see, I'm kind of switching over to having more assault rifle ammo, because our balance, I cashed in all those coins. We have 83,000, so we can spend a little bit. I was going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to make refined storage to start automating some of the plates, because there are, like I said, there's a lot of components to it. You have to make the tier 1. You need, I think, coal, bronze, and iron, maybe. I can't remember. Maybe steel, but you have to make all of those, and then you have to turn them into the tier 1 plate, and that was getting a little bit repetitive. But I kind of feel like I have enough of a stockpile that doing that is no longer necessary. And I've mentioned a few times before, I'm the type of person, I like playing a mod pack that has a quest line. I like following that quest line, and then when I complete the quest line, according to me, I've 100% of the game. There's really no reason for me to continue playing. So setting all that stuff up, it's going to be a grind to get all of it, and to set it all up, and to make room for it, and to increase our power. But the offset of how much time it's actually going to save us in the long run, or what it's really going to do for us, I don't think outweighs the manual grind that I would have to do for the same thing. So I'm thinking I'm just going to pass, and I'm going to stay on the simple storage request system. Obviously, if it was a quest line to make refined storage and to get into AE, that would be a completely different story. I would, happily do it. But since it's not part of the quest line, and it's not part of the, the progression that the pack, wants you to take, because I'm a true believer that the mod author who writes the pack and writes the quest lines kind of has a path that they want you to follow. And if they give you stuff but don't make it part of the quest line, then it's not so much that's the path that they want you to follow. They want you to do more things like the exploring and building up the rockets and getting to see the new planets and stuff like that, as opposed to AE and refined, which we've all pretty much used in every pack we've ever played. So if you've never used AE or something like that before, then yeah, it's going to be fun for you to get into. But if you've done it before, it's kind of like a meh. All right, so we're full on fuel. I think we need to do a few of these quests here. We need to collect you and then get our research papers here. So we're going to get Saturn and name that I can't pronounce, Uranus and Miranda. So we just need to grab ourselves a battery here and run these guys through our telescope so that they're actually going to be in our solar system layout when we get there. And I do wish that this had some sort of power input. I've tried hooking power cables up to it directly, and it never really seems to do anything. It doesn't seem to register the power, so it would be nice if that had that aspect, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to complain about it not, because it's easy enough we find enough of these batteries that we really don't need to worry about it. All right, we have all of the planets discovered. I'm just gonna toss one of these in here, and I'll have to make sure that I get the other one when we come back, but we should be good to launch off in our rocket and check out the new planets. We will have to rinse and repeat this process 4 times, since we have 2 planets and 2 moons I think we need to go to, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. So let's F5 us. Do we actually have a window? Yeah, we don't have a window on this one. Oh well. Let's just blast off and turn our night vision back on, and I will see you guys in the solar system solar system map. All right, so here we go. We now have Saturn and Uranus. Jupiter we've already been to. Obviously Mercury and Ceres we've been to. So let's see here. Saturn, we have... Can we actually go to Saturn, or is we can't because it's, you know, gas giant? Or is that Jupiter? One of them's a gas giant. All right, so let's check out... Oh, let's not do that. Let's go back to it and then click on it and then say launch. Make sure we slow down on our approach here, and it looks like we're going to be landing inside of a massive cavern here. We can tilt and turn, but we can't actually make any direction. Shift click out. Oh, I jumped way too high. All right. Thank you, and grab the fuel. Toss you in here. Grab our transporter. And where are we again? What planet is this? Something. We'll just do N. Because I can't remember the name of it. All right, let's check out our quests here. So we've completed this. Now it wants us to find subsurface grunt, coal ore, and an unknown crystal. Where is our compass? Which direction? You are facing direct due north, so there is no dungeon on this planet. Let's set a waypoint. All right, and since all we really need to do is find ores, we can just dig down here and see where this takes us. All right, well, we came across some of the coal ore, so we can grab that real quick. So now we just need to find the unknown crystal, I believe it is. Because, yeah, we're not really hurting for coal, so I'm not worried about it. But I'm guessing for the crystal, we're going to actually have to find a cave of... Whoa! A cave of some sort here. All right, well, looks like we finally found our first cave. Ugh. I just pretty much followed the sound of the zombies. Let's see if we can't find this crystal. We have a lot of enderment and a lot of coal on this planet, and that really seems to be about it. I also have noticed that the coal doesn't drop XP, so I'm going to have to watch my tools because I'm not going to get the mending aspect on it. Ooh, and we also have Blaze, it looks, or Ice Blaze. You drop anything good? No, of course not. All right, here we have our first crystal. Let me just make sure that I have Fortune. I want to use the Silk Touch one. All right, and that goes directly into my dank. Why did it? Huh. Even with the Silk Touch, it broke into a crystal shard. So how am I supposed to get the actual crystal? All right, so I was doing a little bit of looking, and you know, because like I said, the Silk Touch wasn't actually dropping the crystal, it was dropping the shard itself. I was trying to figure out how we get this, and we can actually get this by running the subsurface grunt into the universal recycler, and we have almost 2,000 of the subsurface grunt, so I think we should be good on that aspect. What I do want to do is try to find one more of the Blaze and see if I can't get it to drop something. All right, we got a couple more of them over here. Ow! Why would you attack me? Jeez. It's like people think that just because you shoot at them with a pistol that they can just attack you these days. All right. Save the XP for the tools. I'll take what little I can get because it seems to get harder and harder to find these days. But yeah, these blades are not dropping anything. So that's kind of disappointing. All right, you... we can just grab you and toss you in there. Well as you. And if you notice, I did hook up some fluid nullifiers to the universal recyclers because I don't really have any use for all the water I was getting from the leaves. And since this doesn't actually produce any fluid, I'm not too concerned about it, but we'll let it do its thing. And then we're going to head up here and start refueling our rocket again, so we can go to the next planet. Let's see. So we're gonna need you. I was gonna say I couldn't find my rocket. I was starting to panic there for a moment. And 5. Toss down our trusty dusty rocket. And it's already got fuel in it, but we'll toss this in there. Actually, it's not gonna take it because the tank's too big. That's one thing I noticed. So these won't take whatever you have in the inventory slot if there's more fluid in the tank than the internal inventory can hold. So I wish that would be changed. Like, I wish I could just toss it in and it would just take as much as it could fill in there. But yeah, because I do have the same issue with the refinery. Like, if the refiner inventory is smaller than the tank that I have, then it just won't go in. So I've been having to like bucket it out of the refinery itself. But we're gonna let that ship refuel and then we can head on to our next planet. We do have some of these unknown crystals, which we get the unknown crystal shard from, and that can actually be utilized in a few recipes. We can make a gravity module, which I'm assuming within a radius will, kind of give us normal gravity. So that might be useful inside of the ship, or especially on top, like when I get out and I have to jump up and that it takes me 5 minutes to get back down. But we can also make ultimate batteries. We can make a stabilization module, which I'm not really sure what it's used for. My coffee's getting cold. I'm not pleased about that. All right, but carrying on here, let's finish up this quest here. And is there anything else that we have? We have I suppose we can collect these guys just so it stops telling us that we need to collect them. All right, we're gonna need to do another trade to get tritanium. We're gonna have to find another rocket vein schematic. Machine wise, I do need to make the spacesuits. I think they're a little bit better than the one that I have on, but I'm not 100% sure. When I played around with them in the very early beta, it didn't really seem like it did much, so I wasn't really sure what the true purpose of it was. But to make them, we need some SDHC alloys, orange stained glass, which I remember having a fit over in the beta itself. I was like, why do I have to go out and get orange dye just to make this helmet? But yeah, let's actually just add you on. We can just add all of these guys on here real quick. So we're gonna need nickel, dash, and SDHC, it looks like, right? Oh, and 1 oxygen concentrator. We'll just grab a stack of dash and let's grab some nickel. And how much SDHC do we have left? I was gonna say, I know I made a bunch of this, but I wasn't sure where it was going. And this is going to be made inside of the assembly machine. So let's see. You're going to be like this. Boom, boom, and thank you. All right, so we'll let that do its thing. These guys we could toss in here. We do need to make the glass. So let's grab us some. Oh, we have just enough glass for this. One of these days, I'm actually going to have to crush down some more cobblestone into sand and make more glass because, yeah, I really have. I've been neglecting the basics of life here. You can take you. All right, so we have our feet done. Which one are you? So you're going to be the nickel in the middle, 2 of the SDHCs on the top, and then the rest is going to be dash. And it doesn't look like this ever got patched. If you notice, there's 17 in here. If I shift click it out, I get 34. So a little bit of a dupe, but like I said, nothing that's really coming out of here is stuff that we need in an obscene amount. So it's not, you're getting more than you should, but at the same point in time, it's not really helping you out at all. So I'm not, I'm not too concerned about that. So this, we're going to need 3. Boom, boom, boom. We can toss you in there. Or was it like this? See, now I'm doubting myself here. Yep. Wait, is it not? Nickel up top. Okay. There's just 1 nickel. All right. I have like the memory of a 2-year-old child. I can't retain information for more than like a split second. All right, we have our spacesuit here. So now we just need the helmet, which is going to be 4, and our oxygen concentrator. And then the rest is just going to be the dash plates. All right, so we can toss the rest of this stuff back in here because we don't need it. There we go. All set on that aspect, and you are done. So that should finish off that quest line. I'll play around with these guys a little bit to try to see if I can't figure it out. I'll probably have to look up the mod itself, because like I said, I think the what is this, galaxy space? I think these guys have modules. I just don't know like what the purpose of it is, because as you see, there's expander, stabilization, speed, and energy. It doesn't say anything about like flight, and we have this modification table, so like we could take this. All right, so this is where the modifications come in. So there is a jetpack to it, and I think this gives us more armor. I wish JEI would go away. It's kind of impossible to read. So we can have advanced battery, which will give the jetpack more fuel, or we could have more armor is what I'm guessing that means. And this is sensor glasses, and this is potion of night vision. So we can either have night vision and advanced battery life, or we could have armor and night vision or scanner. So these are a little bit upgradable. What is this? So this will increase speed, and then again, we have the decision to increase the RF capacity of it, or we can do the armor. But I think we can make capacitors in this pack. So having the advanced battery would, we could do without that. So this is, again, armor plating. This is slime ball, which I'm guessing is going to be reduced fall damage, armor, jump boost, which we don't need since most planets have 0 gravity. Yeah, this stuff could be interesting, but I'm not sure what its protection level is versus the armor we have, but maybe we'll upgrade those in the next episode and try to play around with them a little bit more. We can toss you back in here. Let's go check on our rocket. And super far. Click. All right. F, are we full on fuel? We are full on fuel. All right, so let's blast off and check out our other moon here. All right, so we've been to Saturn, or at least the moon of Saturn. So now we just need to go to Uranus, and that's going to take us to Miranda here. It says it has a dungeon, so we're definitely going to have to take a look for that. Let's see. Doesn't really have any gravity, and temperature is about the same. Everything else, looks fine. Radiation level and pressure level, I've noticed I haven't really come into any issues with that. What I will say is I'm a little bit concerned that it's not quite set up properly, because it just feels like I'm never really having to worry about radiation or pressure. Now, granted, I have the tier 2 spacesuit, so it is protecting me quite a... No! Oh, you see that? And I got to be careful with the gun, too, because the gun will actually break the ship. I don't want to lose my rocket, because that's going to make me unhappy. But I do need these guys to come over here. Please just go away. Thank you. All right. Let's grab our stuff real quick. We got our fuel, rocket. All right, we're good. I don't want to have a replay of me losing a rocket, especially like a tier 5 or tier 6 rocket. I've lost those before, and it sucks because you have to go through so much to rebuild it. Let's see here. Let's set you in case we ever need to come back here for any reason. All right. And then we need to set a waypoint just so we have a point of reference for where we're traveling here. And where is our dungeon locator? So that is pointing true north. However, it did say that there's a dungeon on this planet. So I'm going to do a little bit of a walkabout and see if we can't find a dungeon before we go and start collecting the ores. All right, so we've traveled a little bit over 1,200 meters here, and yeah, I still haven't found any dungeon. So I'm gonna say the information is wrong on the description here, and there isn't a dungeon on this planet. Also, when I look at the quest lines for us, there's no dungeon key. So what they seem to have added is they added dungeon keys on the planets that have dungeons. So yeah, I'm gonna take a guess and say that there's no dungeon on this planet. I'm kind of disappointed with that. I did enjoy the dungeon, especially like the first two. I thought the changes to the dungeon were really cool, but for all I know, they may just still be a work in progress and be added on later on, because I think technically the pack is still considered in a beta. It's released, but it's still going to be changing. Like there was another update which added on the military spaceship and stuff like that. So they're still adding things onto it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. If anything, I'm just voicing my opinion on things that could be added or things that could be changed to make the pack better, because I do enjoy the pack. I think one of the draws of AstroBlock for me was the exploration. Yeah, it has a decent amount of grind to it and stuff like that, which I think every pack should have. And it does have a decent amount of mods that's, you know, I don't want to say forcing you, but getting you to use that you don't normally use. Because most people for Galacticraft, they use the refinery and like the rocket fueler, and that's about it. And obviously the NASA workbench to make the rocket, but you're going to the planet usually to get other things. So it's the exploration of the planet normally isn't the biggest reason why you're doing it. And that's kind of why I wish there was more reason for us to be here, just because I've always enjoyed that a little bit more. But what we're going to do is we're going to dig down and try to find some of these ores, because like I said, what do we need here? We need subsurface grunt, iron, the surface grunt, dolomite, Miranda stone, diamond. So there's a lot of stuff for us to find here. It's a very seems like a very well laden planet with ores. So I'm going to go through and collect all of this stuff, and I will bring you guys back. Let me actually turn you off for now and collect you. But yeah, I'll bring you guys back as soon as we are collected everything. Well, we're back home. We did finally found the nickel ore. We found 3 pieces. I was digging a lot, as you can see here. I have a lot of the stones and stuff like that. I started out at lower levels just looking for it, and I didn't come across it. I veined mine straight for, you know, probably like 400 blocks or something like that. Then I just went through tunnels, ended up having to resort to taking out a bunch of mobs to try to upgrade this guy because it was slowly dying on me, and that was bad. But ended up finding the nickel ore at level 41, I believe it was. So I'm not sure if it's one of those ores that's going to spawn a little bit higher, but hey, that's where I found it. So do with it as you will. Let's see here. Miranda stone. Do you have any uses? All right, so the stone itself can be turned into cobalt. But that seems like it's about it. So again, one of those things where going to that planet, I don't want to say is useless, but it doesn't really seem to have a whole lot of use, because the things like, yeah, there was a decent amount of cobalt and a decent amount of nether ore, but everything else was just kind of non-existent. We have most of those resources already. So yeah, now we're left with making our tier 6 rocket, which we'll get into next episode, and that should open up the rest of the planets that we need to go to. Like I said, I don't think we need to make any further tiers, but it is going to take a lot of go to a planet, set a home, collect it, come back, go to the next planet and stuff like that. So we'll probably make like a montage episode or something of just us traveling to other planets. I will, in between episodes, go out on a little bit of an exploration and record us trying to find these new mobs, or at least set waypoints there so I know how to get to it. But we are going to have to eventually make our way through here and finish these guys up. These, like I said, I don't think there's really any use for them, for the liquid nitrogen or the methane, at least nothing that I'm going to actually have to make in order to quote unquote 100% this pack. But we can at least get these guys knocked out, as well as the shield generator, which I'm not really sure what it does, to be completely honest with you. The black hole storage, it kind of sounds like a black hole storage. I just don't know if it's one item or more than one item that it will hold, but we'll also have to get into making that guy, which I'm not too concerned about. But yeah, we're gonna have to call it an episode there, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It helps me out greatly. It also lets me know that you're enjoying my content and makes me want to put out more. So as always, stay safe, be awesome, and we'll see you guys next time.